Hallo und willkommen zurück zu Folge 59 von If My Heart Had Wings und der 6. Folge auf Kotoris Route. In der letzten Folge hat Kotori Besuch von ihrer Schwester Hibari bekommen, die sie überzeugen wollte, für das Opernfestival nach Hause zu ihren Eltern zu kommen. Kotori war sehr dagegen, wir haben von Hibari ein bisschen Background über ihre Familiensituation bekommen, aber er hat schließlich ebenfalls versucht, Kotori zu überzeugen, nach Hause zu gehen, woraufhin sie ein bisschen verärgert geworden ist und böse Dinge gesagt hat, also eigentlich nicht, aber scheinbar dachte jeder, dass böse Dinge sind. Deshalb dachte Aoi, sie ist mad auf ihn und sie dachte, er kann sie jetzt nicht mehr leiden. So dass sie kaum mehr miteinander geredet haben, bis Amane mit einem Blueprint für ein Glider-Cockpit für Behinderte vorbeigekommen ist. Und Aoi so gedacht hat, so, yo, Kotori, du kannst damit fliegen, mega nice. Und Kotori war einfach erleichtert, dass sie sich noch verstehen, ja. Und damit hat die Folge aufgehört. Ich schätze, wir sehen jetzt, wie sie an dem neuen Glider-Cockpit arbeiten und so. It was the day when the rain, which had been falling for a while now, had finally stopped. Oh. Hey. God damn it. The improved airframe was finally complete. With the crystallization of our efforts and hardships in front of us, everyone looked very emotional. We did it, Kotori. Yep, we did it. Kotori was standing a bit away from me. A hint of delight sparkled in her eyes. Seeing that, Ageha winked at me secretly and smiled. I nodded back at her. Okay, there's still some distance between us. However, the awkward atmosphere from before was gone. It seemed we were both waiting for a good time to make up. Come on, we don't have time to stare at it blankly. Take apart the airframe and load it on the trailer. Okay. Yeah. I'll help too. We take apart the assembled airframe and load it onto the trailer. Today we'll go to the runway to test our remodeled glider. Kotori darf fliegen? Jetzt schon? Das ging ja schnell. Asa-chan, be careful. Don't bump into anything. Okay. Today was the first time Asa-chan worked on assembling the glider's fuselage. Wait. Ja doch, Fuselage hieß es, ne? Ich muss sagen, ich habe irgendwie gar keine Lust mehr auf die Gliderflugszenen. Ich finde sie meistens nur irgendwie langweilig. Ich habe das Gefühl tatsächlich, dass sie einfach nichts tun für die Geschichte. Meistens. It's not a difficult task, but mistakes can lead to serious accidents. When you assemble the fuselage by yourself, you get a better understanding of its structure and functions. It's finally finished, huh? Anshan said while gazing at the improved aircraft being assembled. I had gotten him to help with transporting the glider. I'm sure Anshan is emotionally attached to it as well. To be honest, I didn't think you guys would come this far. It's thanks to your help, Anshan. You let us restock our materials cheaply, search for difficult to find parts, and sometimes help with construction. I also wanted to see it fly. You will be piloting it today, are you? Yeah. It's been a while since I had flown here. Until today, I had been using my weekends for commuting to the distant glider grounds and practicing. My skills have improved so much since last year. Amane didn't come here, huh? She said she's busy because she's an adult. Even if she isn't here today, she'll have plenty of chances to see a test flight. I man the cockpit. We'll do a positive control check. Alright. I got us to the cockpit and checked the controls. The main wings in the empennage have been remade so it feels different from before. Okay, next is the rear seat. We carefully proceed with all sorts of checks before the takeoff. It's only natural that Asa-chan and Yuri-chan were nervous, but Ageha, Kotori and I were too. It's the first test flight we've done in a long time. Alright, now let's confirm the division of roles. First, I is the pilot. Next, I will control the winch. Huh? Not me? No, I'll do it. Next, Asa-chan will hold the tip of the wing and run. Okay, I'll do my best. Yuri-chan, please check the safety of the surrounding area. Understood. And me? Kotori asked uneasily. Without a word, Ageha winked at me. Your seat is over there, isn't it? I pointed the rear seat with my thumb. Huh? Kotori looked around at everyone's faces. Until coming here, Kotori was assigned to operate the winch. However, no one is surprised by the sudden change. That's because it was arranged beforehand by all of us, except for Kotori. Kotori also realized that when she saw everyone's unnatural expressions. I promised you, right? That I'll give you a ride first. I made you wait quite a while, but... I said slightly bashfully. However, Kotori had been looking at me blankly and instantly blushed even more than I did. That's not right. I mean, Ageha worked harder than anyone to build it. But me, I wasn't very helpful. That's not true. It's what you wanted to hear, right? Don't act like a spoiled kid. Asa, but you want to ride too, right? I do want to try riding it, but it's normal for a Senpai to have priority, right? Yoru. I'm just an outsider who helped a little, so... It's not like we're only going to fly once. That's right, I want you to ride first, Kotori-senpai. You're the club president, right? So it's fine. Yeah. Kotori timidly looked up at me. It seems she had some trouble expressing her happiness, probably due to that awkward atmosphere between us these last few days. Alright. Alright. Asa-chan, Yuri-chan, help me get Kotori into the rear seat. Alright. Yeah. Kotori was lifted by everyone and put into the rear seat of the glider. Isn't the seatbelt too loose? It's fine. Don't touch the control stick. I told Kotori while I was getting into the front seat. Oh, okay. Alright, this is the first test flight. This is the first flight with the new model, so don't overdo it with your flying. Yeah, I know. Close the canopy. Alright, Kotori, have a good flight. The canopy was closed. The transparent dome blocked the sounds from outside. I felt the tension coming from the rear seat. Outside, Ageha was running toward the winch. Yuri-chan was observing the surrounding area from a little distance away, and Asa-chan was checking the towing rope. Finally, it's time for the improved glider's first flight. The wings we all made together will fly through the air. And the promise I made with Kotori a year ago will be fulfilled. The air current is calm today. We won't be able to fly very high, but this is perfect for our first test flight. But if you get scared, tell me. I'll descend right away. Okay. Aber ist sie denn noch nie mit ihm geflogen? Sie ist doch vorher schon mit ihm geflogen, oder? Das neue Cockpit ist doch nur dafür da, damit sie auch piloten kann. Alright, are you ready? I heard Ageha's voice through the radio. Are you ready, Kotori? Yeah, I'm ready. We're ready. I answered Ageha and gave the signal to Asa-chan. Asa-chan walked around to the side of the fuselage and lifted the wing which was leaning on the ground. Ich muss echt jedes Mal überlegen, noch bei Fuselage. Runway is clear. The runway had been checked. Pull us up. Roger, let's go. The towing rope was pulled and the glider began to move. It quickly accelerated. Asa-chan was running with all her might, but soon let go of the wing. I pulled the control stick. The glider, which had been running on its wheels over the weed-covered bumpy ground, gently lifted up. We're floating. While the glider was floating near the ground, it was being pulled by the winch and started accelerating. We're climbing. Okay. I pulled the control stick back and pointed the nose upwards. Das hier mit diesem Gras ist aber auch eine neue Szene irgendwie, ne? Das konnte man vorher nie sehen. The airframe started ascending rapidly. Huh. Feeling the G's with my whole body, I gripped the control stick tightly so the glider wouldn't go out of control. The ground became distant and the sky spread out everywhere outside the canopy. I'm disconnecting. Right before we got above the winch, I pulled the release lever. Nook was disconnected and the towing rope was released from the underside of the airframe. We were released from the force that had been pulling us and the glider was thrown into the sky. I quickly turned and checked the disconnection of the towing rope. Release confirmed. Roger. The parachute is coming down, so that's how it looks from above. Kotori had always been in charge of the winch used to see the small parachute from below. Takeoff successful. Warum ist sie halt durchsichtig? As I announced this, Kotori looked at the outside view from the rear seat. Ah, kann sein, dass das Cockpit einfach spiegelt. Amazing. We're really flying. Aren't you scared? No, not at all. I'm facing forward so I can't see, but I'm sure that Kotori's round eyes are sparkling. That's what her voice suggested. To get a feel of the new wings, I first flew slowly over the runway. They respond to the rudder faster than the old wings, but the feeling of gliding is smooth. As this is a test flight, I have to remember how it feels and report it to Ageha later. Us and the others look so small, they wouldn't even know if I waved at them. Aoi, how does it feel? Up until now it's responding well. It's more sensitive than the old glider, but the gliding itself is smooth. How are you, Kotori? I feel great. Good. Well then, do your best. Oh, okay. What does she have to do her best at? I see. I got the feel of it, so I'll try flying around for a bit. Roger, just don't overdo it. Shall we try going to that place? That place? The windmill hill. Yeah. Kotori seemed to think it was a good idea. I leaned the control stick to the side, stepped on the rudder pedal and turned the glider towards the lake. Wow, it's really flying. How does it feel, Asa-chan, to watch the wings you've built yourself fly through the sky? It feels kinda mysterious. How can it fly like that? It is mysterious, alright. How it maintains its balance while gliding through the air. Looks like they're going somewhere. Towards the lake? Flying there is our standard course. The glider crossed over the lake and approached the area above the windmill hill. The view is great. I didn't know the lake was so big. Ist ja wie lustig auch. Also ich habe einen Bekannten, also nur online, der auch seinen Glider-Flugschein gerade macht. Ist ja wie ganz spannend. Yeah. We're at the edge of the north side of the lake. The whole lake is long and narrow, but this part is especially thin, almost like a river. Thanks to that, we can easily cross over it in a glider. I slowly turned the glider around the peak of the windmill hill. There was a weak thermal here. The view from here is my favorite. Kotori preparing to say something. Yeah, it's nice. Lined up windmill hills are so pretty. You can see the town too. Ah, there, is that our secret base? I saw the dock's round roof in the area where Kotori was looking. It's a rather large building, but it looks small from here. Do you remember? The day when we first met? If man Aoi sehen können. Ungewohnt. Yes, of course I do. Right around there, your wheelchair had gotten a flat tire. You came and fixed it for me. And then the glider that Amane-senpai was piloting flew by. Yeah. If even one of these coincidences hadn't happened, we wouldn't be enjoying a flight through the air together like this. So this is how it looks from above, Kotori murmured with emotion as she looked down through the canopy. I flew around the area slowly, just as Amane-senpai had done at that time. Ich finde es immer lustig, wie man diesen Effekt sehen kann. Ist das Aliasing? Nee, das ist nicht Aliasing, ne? Aber wenn man hier auf den linken Glider-Wing schaut, wie das aussieht, als ob da so weiße Streifen langlaufen. Ja. Sorry, ich habe gerade Spaß, mir das anzuschauen. Icon. Kotori timidly called out to me from the back seat. Thank you. For the cockpit. She was talking about the blueprint that Amane-senpai had drawn for us. Well, not really that part, because he had nothing to do with that. But I didn't do anything. I just learned that there were cockpits for people with a handicap and collected information. Amane-senpai had found it by chance and drawn a blueprint for us. It's not like I asked her for it. If you want to thank someone, tell senpai. Even though it was for me, you were so delighted, like the blueprint was for you. That made me really happy. Yeah. I felt a little embarrassed to be told that. At the time I hadn't dreamed that senpai would prepare something like that for us. I got too excited out of surprise. I'd got so happy that Kotori, who should have been delighted, ended up staring at me blankly. You also searched for it, right? For such a cockpit. I just found it on the net by chance and thought that if we had this you could fly by yourself. Thank you. I didn't do anything worth being thanked for. Your gratitude, even though I didn't do anything special, actually made me feel embarrassed. But I'm certainly glad that Amane-senpai drew that blueprint. When we finish building the cockpit, you can pilot too. Ach, haben sie noch gar nicht. Yeah. Then you'll have to train extra hard. I jokingly spoke in a threatening manner, but Kotori nodded seriously from the rear seat. That aside, Kotori hesitated like she had something difficult to say. About what happened the other day. Then I heard a faint sound of her taking a deep breath. I'm sorry for saying that terrible thing. It's fine. I don't want to hear that from you, Ai-kun. It was wrong. I know you're always supporting me. Even so, I ended up saying something I don't really think, and her voice sounded like she was about to cry. I couldn't bear it, so I started speaking. No, I'm also sorry for intruding on your personal... No, you didn't. Kotori reflexively interrupted me. I want you to say more things like that. It's not weird for you to say such things. Kotori. I'm stupid and stubborn and not honest, so sometimes I take on that kind of attitude. But that's not how I really feel. I want you to know that. Okay, I remember that. When I answered, I sensed Kotori's relief. It felt like the tension that had continued since the canopy had closed finally dissipated. Well then, can I say something a little bit intrusive? Yeah, go ahead. I like you, Kotori. Huh? Not as a friend. I love you. It might be a bother, but I wanted you to know. Kotori stopped talking. It was an awkward silence. Just as I started worrying that I surprised her. I realized that Kotori was crying. Kotori? This isn't a dream, is it? No, I'm pretty sure we're awake. I also like you. I love you, Aoi-kun. While crying, Kotori spoke up with all her might. Her voice resounded inside the canopy. Thanks to that, I felt it not just with my ears, but with my entire body. In before das Radio ist noch an. I see. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. At first I felt relief, but then I was overcome with happiness. So we both feel this way. Yeah, we do. Which means we're dating, right? Yeah, from now on until forever. I see. My delayed happiness finally boiled over. Kotori was surprised by my sudden laughter. What's wrong? But I couldn't stop. I was so happy. Kotori, I like you. I love you. I surrendered myself to the overflowing emotions and leaned the control stick. Dangerous, maybe? The glider started flying in circles. Hooray! Hooray! Kotori likes me! Yeah, I like you. Kotori answered frantically, suffering from the G-force inside the cockpit. I like you too, Kotori. The glider turned and did a loop. Okay, like my happiness had been transferred to it. Hey, this is supposed to be a test. Again's scolding voice roared from the radio. What are you doing piloting like that on the first flight? Sorry, I just got a little excited. I quickly left the plane off. Kotori, are you alright? Yeah, I'm just a little dizzy. I know that you're happy. Anyway, congratulations. Huh? Congratulations? Congratulations, Ai-senpai, Kotori-senpai. Ihr habt einfach alles mitgehört wahrscheinlich. Oh, what do you mean? We heard that whole tantrum. It seriously creeps me out. It seems that the radio on the passenger seat was on the entire time. What? No way. It seems there's some trouble with the transceiver. Oh my, we realized too late. You liar, you must have realized right away. But thanks to that, we could all share your special moment. A confession in the sky is so romantic. I was sure you were letting us hear that on purpose. These guys. You weren't planning to do that from the start, were you? Well... I indeed had intended to tell Kotori my feelings on today's test flight. It was a chance to have some time alone, just the two of us. There was no worry of being overheard by anyone. Or so I had thought. Well, at least it will save you some time with the rapport, so just give up. Transmission out. The transmission cut off. Kotori. Yeah. Kotori was looking down, her face bead red. After that we stayed in the sky as long as we could, taking as much time as possible before we returned to the runway. We succeeded in landing without any problems, released the lock, and the canopy was open from the outside. Aga and the others greeted us with smiles on their faces that were so wide it made me feel ill. Welcome back, you two. Welcome back, senpai. Welcome back. Okay, Asa-chan, Yoru-chan, help me get Kotori-chan down. Okay. Kotori, who came out from the cockpit and sat in her wheelchair, was blushing deeply and had a discouraged expression on her face. You don't have to be so cautious. We aren't going to make fun of you. I'd be grateful if you didn't. Right now I'm so embarrassed I could die. Great job, Ai-senpai. Great job with various things. Various things. So weit sind sie noch nicht. You're going to make fun of me, aren't you? They're already doing it. Asa-chan's eyes were sparkling like those of a heroine from a shoujo manga, and Yoru-chan's were smirking. When I blushed, my head was slapped from behind. You did it. Oh boy. Even you, An-chan. You were pretty cool. Dieser Thumbs Up ist nice. Nice, bro. Being told that by An-chan made me feel embarrassed, but also happy. So, how was it? The feel of the glider? Like I told you, the radio, it has a few quirks. Once I get used to those, it should be easy to handle. The feeling of gliding was smooth too, the sink rate was low. Compared to the previous model, it seems like it will be able to stay in the air longer. I see. How about adjustments? It doesn't need anything right now. Okay, I'll check for damage or walking. For damage or warping. I'll also inspect the connections. So, sorry, but could you sit in the cockpit? Okay. We have to check if any parts were damaged during the test flight. We're still going to fly it several more times today. I met Kotori's glance for just an instant and then headed toward the cockpit. Kotori... What? You did it. Yeah. Okay, I'm ready over here. Okay, I'll be right there. From a little distance, Kotori gazed blankly at us, preparing for the next test flight. Whoa.